All right, guys, welcome back to my channel today. I've been wanting to do another reaction video for y'all. Today, we're going to be watching the dumbest TikTok trends ever by Visual Venture. So yeah, please go subscribe. Hit subscribe, follow them. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up as well. Make sure to support the main video. And make sure to watch that before you watch me. Anyways, I'm trying out a new tracking software for my VTuber model. Hopefully it works out. I don't know if I got it completely set up the way it needs to, because to be honest with you, hopefully my tracking is still tracking well, because I can't see my model on my screen. I can't tell whenever it stopped tracking and stuff. So hopefully it tracks well through this entire thing. I have plans to figure that out after I get done with this video. I just want to go ahead and get this video done, because right now it's nice and quiet at the house. So yes, let's go ahead and get started and see what the dumbest TikTok trends ever are. Now, I know about some stuff like the Tide Pod challenge way back when, the door kicking challenge, and that type of stuff. The door kicking challenge can be pretty dangerous. Sorry, I had to clear my throat, guys. Gotta do it again. But yeah, let's see what happens. Oop. The content in this video is for informational purposes only, based on believed reliable sources. They may not be current or fully accurate. Viewers should do their own research and not solely rely on this information. We're not liable for any I can't even say that word. This or omissions. I do not condone, endorse, or encourage any of the behaviors or activities shown. I urge everyone to always act responsibly and within the bounds of the law. All materials in this video fall within the fair use provision of Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 for purposes like criticism, comments, and education. No infringement. Jesus, I wish I didn't get tongue-tied. No infringement intended. So guys, please don't go do this stuff, obviously. And like I said, go support the main creator of this video if you see mine. They're the ones who actually done this video. I'm just reacting to it. Anyways, let's get started.
A new trend on social media is raising serious concern among local police departments. It involves people shooting innocent bystanders with water pellets.
Please, don't pee your pants for TikTok. This is perhaps one of the dumbest challenges next to eating Tide Pods that I've ever witnessed.
TikTok is not reality to real life, but there's real consequences for some of those things that go on there.
TikTok created the internet's worst challenges, and as of right now, TikTok could potentially be banned. Today, we'll explore the dumbest TikTok trends ever, starting with weird ones to straight up insane. So my goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos without sacrificing quality. And to do that, we gotta keep growing. So 75% of you guys aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you did.
Because I know that they,
in
the US, they banned
Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The pee in your pants challenge.
Or they took down TikTok.
People usually join TikTok
not for very
trends
long,
to
and then they
cool,
brought it back.
But the pee in your pants challenge was different because it was just embarrassing. It began in April 2020 when a guy named Liam Wire filmed himself peeing his pants. Then he posted the video online.
Pee your pants challenge.
Liam made the
This
video
is
as
so
a joke. He just wanted to make fun of how ridiculous TikTok challenges had become. But people didn't get that joke. Instead, they thought he was trying to start a new trend. And just like that, the Pee Your Pants challenge took off. TikTokers everywhere started filming themselves in front of mirrors, wetting themselves. Anyone watching the video could see the wet spot on their pants.
Pee your pants challenge.
TikTok eventually deleted Liam's video, but that didn't stop the challenge from spreading. This was during the lockdown when people were stuck at home and desperate for entertainment. At its peak, the Pee Your Pants challenge hit over 4 million views on TikTok. But although it was getting a lot of attention,
Why was it getting so many views? What is so interesting about someone peeing their pants? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It causes me embarrassment. Like I feel kind of cringy right now. It's not enough for me to have like a reaction. It's just I can feel it.
most people obviously found it disgusting.
Please, don't pee your pants for TikTok. This is perhaps one of the dumbest challenges next to eating Tide Pods that I've ever witnessed.
I
It
agree.
wasn't just gross, there were real consequences for those who took part in the challenge.
Really?
The biggest problem was that the internet never forgets. Anyone who did this
Oh,
challenge now has a
true,
video of them
true.
peeing their pants on the internet forever. And
Yep.
with many employers now checking social media
And also think, if you ever have kids, that's gonna be there. If they like, whenever they find it, they're gonna know it's you. Because internet never forgets, and just because it was taken down, doesn't mean it's gonna just be down. You know, it's just gonna be completely gone. You never know. Anyways, let's keep going. Sorry.
before hiring, they could easily find those embarrassing videos. The challenge eventually
Yep.
faded, but it left an important lesson behind. Trends end, but embarrassment lasts forever. This next trend also seemed harmless, but it could easily send people to the emergency room. The raw dogging challenge.
Raw
In
dog
2023,
challenge.
Apple TV released a show called Hijack. It was an interesting story, but no one expected it to spark one of TikTok's dumbest trends. In the Hijack show, the main character spends 7 hours on a plane without using any devices for entertainment to pass the time. He endured the long flight with 0 distractions. Somehow, this inspired TikTokers to do the same. By June 2024, people were posting videos of themselves raw dogging flights. This meant no scrolling on their phone, no music, no reading. They would just sit there for
So how's
hours
this-
staring straight ahead. They called it the raw
Oh,
dogging challenge.
straight
At first,
ahead.
it seemed like an interesting endurance test. Some
Like
called it the
staring
ultimate
without
dopamine
blinking?
detox to reset the brain. But as always, TikTok took it way too far. Participants added extra rules like no sleeping, no drinking water, and no
Oh my
snacking or eating.
God,
The more extreme
why?
it got, the more people tried to outdo each other. Soon, raw dogging flights wasn't just a trend. It was a competition who could last the longest. Even
I was gonna say that really didn't sound dangerous. I mean, it sounds boring, but it didn't sound dangerous until they added no sleeping, no eating or snacking, nothing to sustain yourself. Why add stuff like that when you? Well, I get, adding stuff to make things entertaining, but that's beyond. That's dangerous. That's beyond just entertaining. That's dangerous. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
celebrities, rappers, and athletes joined posting their own entries. Before long, the challenge even had an unofficial scorecard. And since it turned into a contest, people started cheating. Some actually raw dogged flights while others just faked it. Like Nathan Daw, who posted a TikTok claiming he raw dogged a 9-hour flight. But there was one problem. The airline he flew didn't even have flights that long. Then there was comedian Danny Duncan. He said that he raw dogged an 18-hour flight, but his clip was obviously a joke. But not everyone picks up on these jokes, so these fake videos inspire more people to actually participate. And that's where the real problem started,
people
because most
who
TikTokers didn't
faked
understand
it,
that this
you have to do
challenge could
research.
actually be dangerous. Taking long flights without food or water increases the risk of dehydration. Planes already dry you out, and this only makes
I didn't know planes dried
dehydration
you out.
worse.
At sea level, the average humidity in the air is 40 to 50%, where in an aircraft it can be as low as 10%. If your body isn't used to that level of humidity, you can rapidly dehydrate.
But dehydration wasn't the only danger.
So not only are you dehydrating yourself by just sitting in the cabin, your blood is also losing a lot of oxygen by breathing in such thin air constantly.
Airplane air is way thinner than what we breathe on the ground. That's why people feel lightheaded or exhausted after a long flight. The lower oxygen levels make it harder for the body to function properly. But most TikTokers didn't understand the risks, so they kept going. Luckily, the media stepped in just in time. One article read, "Idiots are doing this on planes and it's dangerous." They ripped the raw dogging challenge apart, listing all the ways it could go wrong. Other media personalities called the trend pointless.
Being a person, being present in the space you're physically occupying, even that we now call a trend.
As news outlets criticized and pointed
There's a
out
lot
the
of different
dangers, the
trends.
challenge started losing momentum. And by the end of 2024, TikTokers abandoned the raw dogging challenge and moved on to the next viral trend. We already know that TikTok is
Okay,
full of
what is
terrible
the
health
next
advice, but
trend?
this next challenge might be the dumbest health trend ever.
Okay.
The beer tanning challenge.
Beer
The
tanning?
beer tanning trend probably started because of a shocking claim that spread on TikTok. In July 2023, a TikToker posted
I'm
a
so
video
freaking
warning
confused.
that using sunscreen was actually dangerous.
They're literally rubbing cancer into our skins.
The District of New York follows a report by online pharmacy Valisure, which detected high levels of benzene in several brands and batches of sunscreen.
He explained that some sunscreens contain benzene, which is a chemical suspected of causing cancer. That was all people needed to hear. The video went viral, getting over 5 million views. Viewers were scared, but they were also confused. If sunscreen was dangerous, what were people supposed to use instead? TikTok had an answer: beer. Barely a month after
Beer.
the
Oh,
sunscreen
beer.
controversy blew up, a new TikTok trend
I don't know
started.
why I
It was
thought it
called
was
the beer
beard.
tanning challenge. People
didn't realize
would
it was
film
beer.
themselves
I'm
rubbing
stupid.
beer all over their skin, then
This
lie
is
out in the sun. The idea was
crazy.
that the hops in beer boosted melanin in the skin,
I don't see
speeding
this
up the
working.
tanning process.
And obviously, I don't think
Oh
it
boy,
did.
what's happening here? Yeah, this guy's pouring beer all over himself here. This is the latest trend on TikTok, beer tanning.
At first, it sounded like a
Bro.
crazy theory, but soon people started posting before and after shots showing off their deep tans. Some even swore beer worked better than sunscreen. Within weeks, the beer tanning challenge became very popular. Videos with the hashtag BeerTan skyrocketed to almost 300,000 views, and more people joined the challenge. But while TikTokers were celebrating their bronzed skin, one group was trying to shut down this challenge ASAP. Dermatologists hated the beer tanning challenge and called it downright dangerous. For starters, the science behind beer tanning was completely bogus.
Apparently, the hops in the beer stimulate the production of melatonin, which leads to a tan. But there's absolutely no evidence to support this.
Beer has 0 SPF, which means it doesn't protect the skin from sunburn like proper sunscreen
So you
does.
can still get
Even with
sunburn.
sunscreen, 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer. Swapping sunscreen for beer only increases that risk.
Yep.
As the media covered the dangers,
'Cause
the
it ain't doing
backlash grew.
anything.
Eventually, TikTok stepped in. They banned the beer tanning challenge and started removing any videos promoting it. And since TikTok was suppressing the beer tanning challenge, it gradually
What goes through
disappeared.
people's
This next
heads
trend caused nothing but
when it
pain
comes to
and
this stuff?
discomfort.
Like, I
But
just
that's
wanna know.
exactly what made people want to try it.
'Cause
No
I'm-
Poop July. The No Poop July challenge
my
is as
God.
ridiculous as it
No.
sounds. The goal is simple. Don't
That's
use
a
the toilet
month.
for the entire month of July. Every year, hundreds of people join in posting TikTok videos to show how long they can last. But before we find out if anyone
You're going to
actually
go to
pulled
the
it off,
hospital.
there's a bigger question. How did such a ridiculous trend even
Your whole
start?
intestines
In
and
July
everything will
2020, a
get clogged up.
TikToker named OK
This is
Kron
crazy.
posted a video looking extremely uncomfortable. The text
I
on the
imagine
screen
so.
read, "Day 1 of No Poop July." OK Kron's face said it all. He was struggling to hold it in, but the caption made it even funnier. It said, "Can I make it till the end?" It was a bold question, and thousands wanted to see if OK Kron could actually last the whole month. His video received 84,000 likes, and the comments were full of people cheering him on. As the days passed, OK Kron kept the suspense going with dramatic updates. Each new video showed him looking
Please
worse,
tell me he
sweat
was
pouring down his
lying.
face, pained
Like he
facial
didn't actually
expressions,
do
and
it.
lots of squirming. The more uncomfortable he looked, the more excited viewers got. Viewers weren't sure if he was kidding or if he was really holding it in for a month,
I
but
hope
it
he
was
was
entertaining regardless. Then, just as July was coming to an end, there was a twist.
You might know him as the kid who hasn't pooped for 26 days, but today we found proof that he lied to us.
No Poop July, bro. Did you fail? Be real.
Yeah.
obviously, like, I'd be in the hospital. But
With a simple, funny video, OK Kron admitted he failed the challenge. Up until this moment, No Poop July wasn't even a trend. It was just one guy doing something dumb for laughs. However, it got people wondering if it was possible to go an entire month without pooping. They were determined to find out. TikTok quickly dug up a real-life case that made the challenge seem possible. It was about a man who held it in for a very long time.
And while he was waiting behind bars, Lamar went on a poop strike. He simply refused to go to the bathroom altogether.
Oh my god, why do you do this to yourself?
Suddenly,
that
No
is
Poop
so,
July,
like,
it didn't
there's
seem
so
like
much-
it was just a joke. So by July
so many
2021,
problems with
1
that.
year after the
You
original
can cause
challenge, it started trending again.
bad
This
problems
time, more
with your
TikTokers joined in,
intestines and
posting
your
videos of
digestive
themselves
tract.
trying to hold it in. And some of them were taking the challenge seriously. Even OK Kron came back for the 2021 challenge, posting daily updates just like before. Then in July 2022, No Poop July returned for the 3rd year in a row. That's when doctors realized this was becoming an annual event and they were horrified. Worried doctors begged people not to try the challenge.
This is not normal because if you're not having a bowel movement every day, it could lead to abdominal pain, gas, bloating, and other issues.
But instead of dying down, it
just those
exploded.
three that
The
you named
2023
is
edition of No
the
Poop
least of your
July
problems.
racked up 80
if
million
I'm not
views in just a
mistaken, I
few
think it
weeks.
can be way worse than that.
July, you know what that means?
I don't know what that means.
Just look on TikTok. It's No Poop July. Oh no!
The 2024 edition crossed 100 million views. But 2024 was special because OK Kron, the TikToker who started it all, decided to turn the ridiculous trend into something meaningful. To everyone's surprise, he announced that he donated about $1,000 worth of toilet paper to various charities. OK Kron's donation meant that something positive came out of this
Well, I
dumb
mean,
challenge.
that's good,
Hopefully,
right?
No Poop July will
But-
return in 2025. But with how popular it's gotten, it probably will. The next trend on our list was mostly done by women, and it backfired in the worst way possible.
Uh-oh.
The Silhouette Challenge.
Silhouette
Hundreds
challenge?
of women took part in this challenge, but they had no idea that this trend would make them targets for creeps and trolls on the internet.
Oh,
The challenge
I was
started
gonna say, I
in
don't
January
see how this was
2021
bad,
when a
but-
TikToker
okay,
named
now I
Yoelise
get it.
posted a
I get
video
it.
with a unique editing style. The silhouette effect with the red background looked amazing.
That's really
Within
cool.
hours, Yoelise's comments were flooded with people begging for a tutorial. They wanted to make their own versions. Yoelise listened. That same day, she posted a step-by-step guide. To create the silhouette effect, they just needed to use a red tinted filter from Snapchat or TikTok. Before long, TikTokers everywhere were trying it out. They called it the Silhouette Challenge. Even celebrities joined the trend.
So turn on the light in your bathroom. Okay. Go in your door arch, okay? And just whatever you want to do.
At its peak, the Silhouette Challenge got more than 200 million views on TikTok. But like most TikTok trends, it didn't
Looks
take
like it
long
could be in
for
a horror
things to
movie,
go
too.
wrong. Because the challenge was showing off body shapes, the participants wore as little as possible. Others wore nothing at all. After all, the red filter was supposed to hide everything, leaving only a shadow. But it turns out the filter wasn't foolproof. Before long, some creeps online figured out how to remove the filter. And once they took it
Really?
off, they could see everything, if you catch my drift. Suddenly, tutorials on how to remove the red filter started popping up everywhere. And since there were hundreds of Silhouette Challenge videos online, creeps were having a field day. People even created subreddits like Silhouette Unfiltered to share Silhouette Challenge videos with the filters removed. Panic spread
Can't
fast.
you get in trouble for that
Suddenly,
stuff?
TikTokers were
Like,
warning
'cause-
everyone to stay away from the Silhouette Challenge, or at least wear clothes while doing it.
So word of warning,
Yeah.
if you're going to make a video as part of the Silhouette Challenge, keep your clothes on. People are attempting to revert the videos back to their normal coloring, and that can reveal things that viewers aren't supposed to see.
For some, the warnings came in time, but for others, it was too late. Their videos had been downloaded, altered, and shared to creeps across the internet. TikTok tried to help by banning filter removal tutorials and shutting down accounts spreading them. But instead of being
Good on them
relieved,
for
some
trying.
victims blamed TikTok for not acting sooner. One thing was clear, the Silhouette Challenge should have never existed. This next trend wasn't just dumb, it was also a crime.
Oh,
The
a
Chase
crime.
Bank glitch.
Chase Bank glitch.
On September 1st, 2024, TikTokers were buzzing with excitement. The reason was because they thought they found a way to get
like, I know
free
the
money,
silhouette
thousands
makes
of dollars
sense. What is it?
completely free. They called it the Chase Bank glitch.
So what people would do, they would write a big check that they didn't have the money for, a bad check, and then they would immediately take money away from an ATM.
Just like the guy explained, they would write a check for more money than they had in their Chase Bank account and deposit it. These checks were fake because their accounts had no money to back them up. Then, before the bank could catch on, they would rush to an ATM and withdraw the check's full amount. In other words, they were scamming the bank for free cash.
Because
as word spread, the hashtag Chase Bank glitch started trending on TikTok.
like they
Within
said, you're
hours,
stealing money
people were
from the bank.
lined up at
You know,
Chase Bank
it's not-
ATMs eager to cash in.
Nah, I said it's heavy. It's lined up. Nah, this is elephant.
There was one small problem. The so-called glitch was actually a crime. As more people heard about the trend, financial experts explained why the Chase Bank glitch was actually check fraud.
Make no mistake, in every sense of the word, this is check fraud. You are knowingly writing fake checks. And to make it even worse, you are committing a felony against yourself.
Anyone caught committing check fraud can face huge fines, prison time, and even a lifetime ban from opening a bank account.
Chase will
just imagine
alert every other
how much
bank
stuff
that
you
try to
use
go
for a
to.
bank. Like, and that's
you may
a way to
possibly
keep your
never
money
be
safe
because
too.
you
Is
have
not
to-
on you.
Despite all the warnings, the
Now you
Chase
can't
Bank
make a bank
glitch kept
account
trending on TikTok.
anymore.
Some posted screenshots of their bank balances as proof that it worked. Others saw a
9
chance to
million.
cash in, selling step-by-step guides or charging fees to teach people how to pull it off. But it was only a matter of time before the bosses at Chase Bank realized TikTokers were stealing from them. And when they did, they were furious. On September 2nd,
so.
barely 24 hours after the glitch went viral, Chase Bank
comes the
shut it
hammer.
down. The bank released a statement saying the glitch was fixed. Fake checks wouldn't work anymore. And just to make things clear, they added, depositing a fraudulent check and withdrawing the funds from your account is fraud, plain and simple. Now everyone who took advantage of the glitch was panicking, and they had good reason to be worried because Chase Bank was coming after them. By October 2024, the bank started suing those who used the glitch. One person stole $335,000 during the glitch. Chase didn't stop there. They identified accounts that deposited those fake checks, froze them, and took back whatever money was left. Most of those accounts ended up with negative account balances with a bunch of zeros.
Man, they really told me to tap in. Next day I was supposed to clear. Look at my account, yo.
Soon,
Negative
arrests began. Those who
31,000.
thought they scored free money were charged and tried in court. The Chase Bank glitch became a brutal lesson. Don't commit a financial crime because someone on TikTok told you it was cool.
That
This next
stuff
trend
can-
took
this
an
stuff can
ordinary
ruin your
daily
life,
activity and
dude.
turned it into something
This is
idiotic.
freaking crazy.
The cereal challenge.
Cereal
Here's how the
challenge. How's
challenge
this one
works.
bad?
2 people had to participate. One person lay down with their mouth wide open while the other poured cereal and milk in.
God, it's
Then
like you're
the second
getting,
person had to eat the cereal straight from
you know,
their mouth using a
waterboarded.
spoon.
Oh,
To pass the
God,
challenge,
this is-
the person on the bottom had to keep their mouth open while the second person ate from it. Some managed to keep their mouths
Crazy.
open long enough to complete the challenge. Others ended up coughing soaked in milk. Huge influencers with millions of followers joined the trend. And with
think I've
that kind
seen
of
that
reach, the cereal challenge
person
spread
before.
faster.
Doing the cereal challenge with my sister.
Some even decided to involve their pets in the challenge, and you do not want to
my
see
God,
those videos.
let me
The
guess.
challenge was also pretty risky. If the person lying down inhaled milk or cereal, they could
Yep.
legitimately choke and suffocate. This trend was all risk with zero reward. Luckily, the cereal challenge didn't last long.
This
But
is
while it was trending,
ridiculous.
it proved people will do just about anything for 15 minutes of fame, even if it puts their health on the line. This next trend was one of the dumbest and most dangerous ones out there. The Orbeez Challenge.
Orbeez Challenge?
In 2022,
Okay.
the Orbeez Challenge was so notorious that people threatened to arrest
that's
anyone
cool.
caught doing it. To understand why, you first need to know what Orbeez are. Orbeez are tiny beads that swell up when soaked in water.
There
How is this
1 million
dangerous?
Orbeez in this bath. This is literally so satisfying.
Because I mean, that looks cool.
Orbeez are usually
you know?
harmless. Kids play with them, and some
Yeah.
people even use them to relieve stress. But in
Yeah.
2022, someone had a reckless idea.
I've never
They
actually
started
had
loading Orbeez into toy guns and shooting them like tiny water bullets.
Oh,
Except they weren't
no.
aiming them at friends. They were targeting random strangers.
These things can shoot up to about 200, 210 feet per second.
And then it got even worse. People began freezing the Orbeez
Oh
before
my God.
loading them. So instead of bursting on
Now it's like
impact, the frozen
marbles.
Orbeez hit like rubber bullets. That made
Yeah.
them a lot more painful and more dangerous.
These toy guns, well, they can really actually replicate a real firearm.
By March 2022, the Orbeez challenge was out of control. TikTokers across the country were shooting Orbeez at random strangers.
A new trend on social media is raising serious concern among local police departments. It involves people shooting innocent bystanders with water pellets.
Police cracked down hard,
crap's
arresting
gonna
teens who
hurt.
participated in the challenge. In one case, 4 teens were arrested. They were charged with disorderly conduct, harassment, and reckless endangerment.
Police say
Imagine if you
surveillance
get hit in
video
the eye
showed
with
the
one of
4
those
teens
things.
pull up in a car and fire the gel pellets into a class working outside.
You would think arrests would scare people
So
off,
now they're shooting
but
at
it didn't.
kids.
Kids kept doing the Orbeez challenge until someone lost their life. On June
What?
2nd, 2022, a group of teenagers Orbeezed some guys playing basketball. But these weren't the kind of guys to laugh it off. A fight broke out, and by the time it was over, one of the basketball players lost his life. He was only 17. When the media reported the case, people finally realized how serious this challenge was.
TikTok is not reality to real life, but there's real consequences for some of those things that go on there.
That was the final straw. Police cracked down harder on the Orbeez challenge. In Kentucky, a mayor banned water pellet toys completely. Walmart,
Wow,
Target, and
okay.
Amazon pulled Orbeez from their shelves. Even
Oh,
Spin
no more
Master, the
Orbeez.
company behind Orbeez, addressed the issue. They released a statement saying they had no affiliation with the gel toys and that their Orbeez products were not intended to be used as projectiles. But after
Right.
all this, the Orbeez challenge didn't completely disappear. Orbeez challenge incidents were still being reported as recently as 2024. These trends prove that some people will do anything to fit in. But just remember, the people that change the world are the ones that choose to be different. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, make sure you guys watch part 1 of this video right here.
Oh, I didn't know
Love
it
you
was a part
guys.
1.
Peace.
I have to react to that. All right, guys. So, first off, I just want to say I didn't know anything about that Orbeez thing. I never had an issue with a lot of those challenges never happened around where I was. I guess I don't know. The Orbeez thing didn't seem like it was so bad. I don't condone it. I really don't. Because, I mean, especially, like, just normal Orbeez and whatever, and you're hanging out with your friends and stuff, as long as you don't hit each other in the face, I'd say, you know, wear goggles. And, like, maybe a mask. Just in case, because you don't want to get hit with your mouth open either. And just, you know, safety with just normal Orbeez doesn't seem like it's such a bad thing. But even so, you don't shoot strangers for that stuff. You never know what someone else will do. Never. But I don't condone, you know, using that stuff like that, because that's not even what they were meant for. But I'm just saying, just my humble opinion. With that, freezing them is a terrible idea. And like I said, shooting them at strangers is a very bad idea as well. Don't do that. Anyways, guys, I just want to say I really appreciate y'all joining me today on this reaction video. Hopefully everyone enjoyed. I know I did. I got to see trends that, well, I didn't even know anything about, besides like the Tide Pod challenge and stuff, but that wasn't even on there, but that was something I knew about. A lot of these trends kind of just fly over my head, because I've never been into TikTok very much. I guess with me trying to be an upcoming VTuber, I may as well get into it in some way, like just create an account and look through stuff, and maybe create my own VTube stuff on there. I don't know. I'm still learning the ropes, still figuring out stuff, still feel lost. But hey, I'm making it. I'm moving forward. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, no, thank y'all for joining me. Please, like I said at the beginning of the video, go support Visual Adventure if you aren't already. Leave a like on their video, subscribe if you're not, and then subscribe to me. And like my video, please. Leave some comments. You know, anything y'all want me to react to. Leave it down below. I'll do my best to get around to it, figure out what I need to do to get it up there. Like I said, I'm still kind of new to this stuff. I don't want to get copyright struck and stuff. I don't really know what all the stuff I need to do. So I'm kind of just going with the flow and figuring things out as I go. But anyways, just let me know down below. Let me know what games you want me to see. I plan on doing some indie games. I want to do some horror indie games and whatnot. Not a big fan of horror, so yeah, y'all get to see me, turn into a baby. That's fun, right? You see a guy turn into a baby, that's fun. Anyways, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good day. Bye.